I feel like I need to apologize for leaving the impression last week that I was refusing to continue or walking away from the table. I certainly did not mean to leave that impression with you. I knew that the goal was to finish a couple of things that we had on the table, and when you see what we prepared today, I did not have the people Thursday afternoon to be able to do that. So we have worked hard on Friday, all through the weekend, this morning, to be able to bring you enough to have a conversation about that. Our goal is to, what we had a goal Thursday would be to finish the 5 MOAs that we have on the table. Premium pay, we have come to an agreement on, leapfrogging, TSIA, COVID, and the supplements, the yearly supplements. So I am sorry that I left that impression. That was not my intent. And I hope we have a better outcome today.
All right. Well, I appreciate your comments. And I just want to remind you that you were asking me to sign off on something which felt like a very high pressure tactic within, you have to sign this right now without us having the ability to talk to our state organization, our attorneys, our bargaining specialists. But I do need some clarification as well. I was looking through all my proposals this weekend, and I must be missing the salary proposal that you guys passed across the table.
Are you talking about the premium pay that we've gone back and forth?
No, the salary proposal that you guys passed across the table.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, unless you are referring to the one that will be discussed on June 9th, June 2nd, when we come back.
So there was no salary proposal passed across the table?
That is correct. Our goal is to finish these MOAs and get moving on that so that we can help support the needs of our teachers throughout the summer and returning to us in the fall.
So I just want to say that one more time. There was no salary proposal passed across the table.
That is correct.
And we did have a date scheduled for April 25th initially, is that correct?
I believe we did.
And who asked to hold off on that session? Was it the union or the district?
I believe the district asked.
And so June 2nd is the first time you're willing to talk salary.
I believe that to be true.
And you may not be aware of this, but the superintendent was certainly aware of the fact that the union was willing to talk salary way back in April. You passed across a proposal about the differentiated pay plan. Did that increase pay for passing industry certification tests or decrease pay for?
It made them in line with state statute.
And
but I do believe that is for contract language, and today we're focusing on MOAs.
But it did reduce the amount that those teachers would be getting.
It made them in line with state statute.
It reduced the amount. So I'm really confused, and I'm wondering how the superintendent and school board are in the newspaper saying that I'm slowing down salary discussions when it was the district that canceled the session. It was the district that was unwilling to talk about salary, and it is the district that has not passed across a pay proposal. So I'm embarrassed for the district about the tactics that they are using to try to push ahead some unfavorable positions for our teachers. I would say this is why this district, I shouldn't even say district, I should say school board and superintendent are so unpopular amongst our teachers and our community, because that's pure dishonesty. And now I'm not faulting you for that, Dr. Green. I don't believe you would have misinformed the superintendent about what's happened here, but the superintendent and the school board are in the newspaper lying about what's been going on at this bargaining table. There has been no salary proposal passed from this district. I am not slowing down the salary proposals. I've done everything I possibly can to speed up the salary proposals, and the district the superintendent and the school board have made the decision to slow those talks. So if we're ever going to have this district seen in a better light than it is, honesty is a good place to start. And what happened on Thursday and Friday, the comments that were in the newspaper, those were dishonest comments. Those were not honest. This union has done nothing to slow down salary proposals. There's been no salary proposal. The only proposal involving salary was to decrease pay for our teachers who get the CAPE certification exams. What we have done is premium pay, which the vast majority is from federal COVID relief. That money came from the federal government, and one of the things they said to do with it was pay teachers and staff. Some of it came from BPS, but that was from unfilled positions and our teachers covering classes. It's a shame that that's what the district is resorting to. I also know, and the district is not saying this, I didn't notice these comments. We're also looking at a massive premium increase in our health insurance. I didn't hear any talk about how the district is planning on doing that. I know the recommendation that went to the superintendent from the SIAC committee, which were massive premium increases. But instead, I'm hearing that the union is slowing down negotiations on salary. Not to mention, we were trying to stay at the table on Thursday and continue the talks, and your side walked away 2 hours early. So I want to put that out. I want to clarify the record that it has been the superintendent and the school board have made the decision to slow talks on salary.
Well, I apologize for leaving the impression that I was walking away Thursday. I wanted to get our information together so that we could more clearly define the issues that we were having with leapfrogging and TSIA, which I have a team to my right who are here to support me to be able to enter into dialogue and answer the question, because we are clearly entering today wanting to solve both of these issues and hopefully that we get all the questions answered and be able to move forward on these. And so,
well, and all I'd say is I expect the same courtesy that you're asking for when I say, I need time to look at this. I don't understand. I don't have the documentation. I don't know if this is right. I was not granted that same courtesy that you're asking for and the courtesy that you were giving, let's say, on the leapfrogging issue for 6 months.
okay. So because they don't have name tags with them, I just want to share with you who is at the table. Shannon Alvarez is our HRIS analyst. Jessica Mosca works for financial services in payroll. She's manager of our payroll services. And Susan Denier is our director of accounting. And they're here to support me as I hope to better explain the issues that we have before us. So we're going to start with leapfrogging. And I want to clarify one more time, our goal is to be able to resolve this. And I'd like to discuss the language and share what our concern is with the language that you passed on Thursday that had to do with the teacher at the lowest of any of those salary slots. So I have a spreadsheet if you need it. I have to help try and explain, and hopefully we can answer your questions. Again, with the goal of resolving this situation. I believe the language that you passed on Thursday had to do with establishing a minimum base salary per year. And anyone coming into the district that year would be at whatever that minimum base salary is. And that drew concerns with our team for several reasons, and let me try to explain that so that we can have some dialogue as to how to make it work. So, for example, the issues that would create an inequity and continue the leapfrogging to occur, we believe would result if, A, there was no pay for performance in a year and we did simply bonuses. B, the teachers that are coming and going from leave, they start the year on leave, they leave in the middle of the year, they're out more than a year. A teacher may not be evaluated because of them being on leave. Or a pay for performance is a significant amount, significant in that I have been here where we've seen, I believe, a $2,000 pay for performance and higher if we were to get to that area. We believe that could create issues specifically if people were on leave and didn't get evaluated and then come back. So I have some spreadsheets to show you. If you,
So can you not have an evaluation and have a full year's worth of experience?
I don't believe you can. I believe you have to work 99 days to get that year of experience, and you have to work 99 days in order to get the evaluation or 2 complete grading periods. And our interpretation of your language is that we have, and help me say it more clearly, we have some jumps in the salary schedule that are not equal. Like, it's not always $2,000 every year. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more for placement. We realize we don't move on steps anymore. It's pay for performance. But because the salary schedule is not equally based, equally spread out, that perhaps would cause an inequity. So can I show you?
Yeah. Can I ask a couple more questions?
Sure.
So in our last proposal, we crossed out the whole schedule,
Correct.
right? So then we just said each year they would look and find what the lowest paid teacher who has been with BPS for the same number of years and has earned at least effective evaluations. That would be the starting place. I'm still not understanding under our proposal why that wouldn't
So
work.
what if the lowest paid teacher was on leave?
Well, then that's why I asked the question, is it possible to not have an evaluation in a full year's worth of experience?
No, but I'm saying, what if they start the year on leave? We establish the minimum base in August and the teacher is on leave.
Which teacher?
The teacher at that year that's the lowest paid teacher, and perhaps retires mid-year.
So, okay, so you're the lowest paid teacher, you go on leave all year.
Or I retire in September,
Okay.
and then there's a new minimum. Because I left.
I don't,
Probably was 7 in August.
I hear that, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't stop it from happening again.
stop.
Leapfrogging.
Now, so you have on your counter proposal 20 years. 20 years is minimum pay.
It is currently.
So why did we stick with minimum pay?
I think we don't know where we're going to be with TSIA school year 23.
So my concern is this, somebody who came in last year with 28 years would be making $60,731. And then somebody comes in next year with 28 years of experience would be making, let's say, $47,500. That's
Hang on a second.
huge.
I can show you 28 years. I can show you all
So you're showing us the person with the lowest pay at 28 years?
the, yes. No, I want it current. So the lowest paid person with 28 years of experience is, okay, forget the 6.4 hour person, is 54,833. I'm sorry. What was your question?
So what year did that person come into the district? They must have came in on the placement scale.
Yes, they only have 3 years with the district. That's correct. So are we looking with district years?
Well,
Hang
I
on.
would say
Let-
Florida or any creditable years.
Years, 28 years in the district. The first one is also 6.4, so don't. First one.
Okay, so let's say I'm seeing minimum there is 55. So why can't we start 28 at 55,000? Like
I have a question.
are you saying, all right, hold on one second. So let's say we go to 55,000, we do what we suggested and 28 years plus becomes 55,000. And then the person at 27 years, they don't get a raise next year, and now they're at 28.
So let's look at 27.
Am I kind of understanding what you're saying? Is that why you believe another
Yes.
leapfrogging?
Yes.
Kyle, what are your, what's your question or thoughts?
Well, I mean,
So we only have 3 people that have 20.
I
Oh,
don't,
hang on, I gotta clear the filters. That's Shannon. Let's clear the filters. I'm sorry, Kyle.
try not to blast you, Dr. Green, but, like, this language is dishonest. Just say you're gonna put everybody on the minimum base salary. Like, why would we create these two sentences, take stuff out the salary schedule when basically what we're saying is everybody that comes in the district is gonna start at the minimum base salary? Like, that's where I'm confused at. Like, am I reading this wrong? I mean,
No, 20 years is the minimum base salary
yeah, so,
right now.
I mean, why would we create 5 sentences to say everybody starts at the minimum base salary? Other than the district didn't want to say everybody starts at the minimum base salary. I mean, that's basically what this language says.
Yeah, I'd say maybe if there's an opportunity for that not to be the case someday, but also it seems like we could come up with a number that would work even.
So that is what I was attempting to do by altering the placement schedule, the first go round.
Mhm.
That is exactly what I was, and your concern was that wasn't gonna work.
Not unless it gets adjusted every year and there's raises added in, no. Because if one BPS does $45 raises, it's not gonna work. I mean, that's just what it is.
Except that's TSIA though.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sorry, Dr. Green, we are so sick and tired of hearing that's TSIA, that's this and that. All our members know is that's a check from Brevard Public Schools. That's all our members know. So, I mean, unless there's whatever number we make, you probably have to either, if we're gonna do numbers, you probably gotta go way under what somebody's currently at. I'm thinking, right, Shannon? And then
And
it's gonna have to be adjusted every year, like.
That's what I was trying to do with that placement scale by altering the placement scale and decreasing it. And I guess I don't understand why you think that would create another leapfrogging issue.
Because if it's not adjusted the following year, it automatically creates a leapfrogging issue.
If what isn't adjusted.
You have that placement scale.
Mhm.
When you gave it to us, I was under the interpretation that that's the placement scale, that's what we're gonna move forward. If it's not changed, immediately the next year, if you come in at 26 years and the person on the placement scale at 27 years is already making $3,000 more than me, that's like immediately the next year, you come in at 26 years, I go to 27 years.
But they don't. Would you say that one more time, please?
If Dr. Green comes in today with 26 years of experience, next year she'll be at 27 years of experience. If there's no raise for whatever reason, Jason comes in at 27 years of experience, he's automatically going to be making more because on the placement scale we have the 26 and 27 years or 24 and 25, whatever it is.
Yeah. I believe as long as we're in a season where pay for performance is not a guarantee and we'll be forced to use bonuses for whatever reason, leapfrogging will always be potential.
So, Jen, what happens, can you explain your thoughts on our proposal that we made about adjusting it at the start of each year?
My main concern is that we are basing it on an individual. And when we base things on an individual, because very few people, I can't say very few people, we're not in a season where someone comes, stays for a long time, never has a leave, never has a hiccup year, whatever. As long as we're basing it on an individual, we're gonna have a constant moving target for a minimum that could have the unintended consequence of creating a bigger inequity later.
So that one individual leaves and it's their 25th year, they leave, and now for the 26th year, you're basing it on a whole new individual and
Wherever the individuals
I
are
think I
active at
understand
the
what you're
point. So, for example, may I use this? So our current salary range for a person with 26 years is from 54,788 to 68,282. That's our range of salaries for current employees at 26 years. That 26-year person is going to roll in 170, the placement schedule. All it would take is for the right number of individuals going inactive, resigning, retiring to force that minimum up for that year. And then just within our current incumbents, we're creating an inequity. If enough people leave and our new minimum is the 63, then we'll have people starting at year 27 with 63, and our current incumbents will only be at 57.
I understand.
So basing it on a person is where I have the issue.
What is the lowest amount? Well, no, I know that answer. With 20 years right now is minimum pay. What about 25 years?
25 years, so my data is from the end of April. I don't have today numbers. But once we have a leapfrogging adjustment that we're going to agree to, it would be the base, which is the 52,511, the current base.
So you're saying, let's just brainstorming, so let's say we left 0, to 25 for minimum, and then we did 25 at 52,511. You're saying potentially next year, those who are currently on 24 on the placement, who came in on the placement scale at 24, next year at 25 might not be making 52,511.
Can you see that one more time, please?
Okay, so let's say we decided at 25 and up, we were gonna make it 52,511. And we have somebody at 24, because they came in this year on the placement scale at 24, they were making 50,440. So they roll up to year 25, they get another $45 raise. They're still not making 52,511. Somebody comes in with 25 years of experience. Next year, we have a new leapfrogging issue.
So it depends. Like I said before, as long as we have years that we're not getting paid for performance at all, or are leave, or people are on leave or resign, there's always going to be the potential for leapfrogging.
Well, I understand what you guys are saying now. I mean, we'll talk about it as a team to see if anybody can think of a better solution, or Kyle, do you have some questions?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions just because I'm trying to think of a solution. Can you find like what's the lowest paid like person with like 24 years of experience?
Right now, that would be 50,440.
We're sure of that?
Yeah, that's what it is on the placements.
No, I know. I'm looking at the placement.
Oh, I
scale.
didn't know you.
But I'm saying in reality, we're sure like.
In reality, with the presumption that we're going to correct our current incumbents to get them to where they need to be based on today's.
Yeah, but without the correction, do you know?
Without the.
Do you have that?
Sure. 24. Yes. So this is a current 24-year person who will be 25 years next year. And that minimum is 52,876.
Just trying to add a thought when I'm trying to play it.
What was the amount? Was that 51,631? Was that the first one on there?
That's their current base, but if
Oh, okay.
what the
So
number I was
longevity,
using
yeah.
was including the first round of TSIA and their longevity, so it's that column.
Have you talked to the district recruiters at all, how this would impact their job? Did they quit? Did they throw their keys on the table?
They did not. We absolutely know it is a recruiting issue. We have had that discussion.
What's the cost of the adjustment
What adjustment?
and the fix it this year? The ones you guys identified.
Oh,
How the total?
For the leapfrogging?
Yeah.
well, so this says we're gonna collaboratively identify, we have preliminary costs, but we haven't scrubbed them together. So
I'm not gonna like hold you to it or something.
okay, I'm at, was it 254? I don't, where am I looking? Oh, 439.
So $500,000.
439.
Kyle, did you have anything else? Or just, did you get the number? I'm sorry, I thought.
For
No, it's $500,000. I have a thought, but you gotta wait till we caucus.
All right.
I can't throw that in out without telling you first. Goes above,
Yeah,
above my
I
limit
was
of
just-
comfortability.
saying, I think it was on Thursday, somebody on the team was mentioning that they had a friend going to another school district and with a lot of experience, and they were being put way down on their pay as well. So it is happening in other places. All right,
Move on to the next topic.
yes,
Okay. I am going to try my best to explain school year 22 teacher salary increase allocation. I believe I have supporting documents that I will be sharing also with you. And then I have just a couple of copies. Of some backup data. So. And I read with inflection, so don't start reading what me read. Otherwise, you're not going to get the inflection that's in here, I don't think. There's 3 copies for everybody. And then of the backup documents, I only made one for you and one for Anthony, if that's okay.
Is that the one from the state?
Yep, there's a bunch of stuff. And they're in, well, the FAQ is. Just that document only for you and Kyle, that we passed it.
I have a minute to look at this.
I was gonna read it.
The letter from the DOE.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Dr. Green, can I ask you a question about this?
Sure.
So the way I'm tracking this is these emails are from February 8th through February 18th. So we met on Thursday, which was what, May 4th or 5th? And was told how this was so urgent, we had to have a response that day. I mean,
So they've been working on it since we had the, since we got the information, and there was another piece to the puzzle that couldn't be determined until about 8 days ago. And that piece was longevity. So there were all of these things coming into play that.
no, but I'm still not seeing the document. While Anthony's reading through it, I'm still not seeing the document that says you have to come to the State Board of Education and present your plan if it's not done by Tuesday, which is kind of what we were sold on Thursday.
That letter was not addressed to me, I have to find it. I believe that letter went to Dr. Mullins, I'll have to get it. I'm sorry, I was trying to give the backup of
I mean, we have,
what brought us here.
but
What brought us here.
Conlon, you have the email chain down there too.
Yeah, I have.
And did you have the,
Yeah, I got it all. I'm just
so,
not seeing what shows the pressing emergency.
yeah, so a couple of things. Once we had the opportunity, we were able to look into the issue. We talked to our state organization, and people are familiar with these matters. So I believe that perhaps BPS is being called to the State Board of Education for Wednesday to explain the situation, as are some other school districts. But I think, to be clear, these other school districts are being called up there, as far as I know, not because they made an error in calculating, but because they've not come to agreement with their unions on how to spend the money. And just to clarify once again, Brevard Federation of Teachers and Brevard Public Schools were probably one of the first districts in the state to agree to this last year. So I once again will point out that